I want to talk to you about the easy part, but the not so easy part about dealing with statistics when it relates to your type of case. Now, one of the tools that some attorneys will utilize is statistics. And the reason I say statistics in terms of types of cases, meaning types of cases, judges, decision-making percentages, particular types of cases and particular jurisdictions and so forth, that is something that is utilized a lot. Not necessarily to help them take or not take a case. In some cases it can, but some cases it can't. But actually in terms of likelihood of success. And sometimes what it does is it gives them a drill down. So statistics in terms of your likelihood can be a good thing in terms of giving you an indication of which way a particular area may go depending on what that information tells you. But here's the not so easy part about dealing with statistics. They give you a few things to keep in mind. One, they give you a false sense of confidence. Because sometimes what happens is that when you see a particular statistic and you think you fall into that favorable statistical line, then all of a sudden you start thinking to yourself, man, my chances of success are great because I fall into this and the statistic says it's in my favor. The problem that you run across is that those statistics are based on an aggregate, meaning a group of people under similar circumstances, but each one may have little nuances that may set it apart. So by relying solely on the fact that you may fall into a particular positive category may present you some problems. Second, you may fall into the depression trap where you see your cases falls into that particular category of cases that don't do well, and statistically you're thinking I should just give it up because I don't have a chance. And same thing, you fall into this category where you start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't need to take this case going forward because of the statistics. That does not necessarily mean this is the case. Just because your case falls into the statistical area of ones that don't do as well doesn't necessarily mean on its face that you're not going to have a positive outcome. Third, every nuance is different, so you need to understand the nuances beforehand in terms of relying on statistics. So many times you find these particular situations where individuals freak because they find out that maybe they've got a particular judge who has a particular pattern for a particular issue, or maybe a particular jurisdiction that tends to be particularly hostile or favorable to a particular situation. Don't let yourself get locked in on that, because all of those things are based on nuance. And finally, keep in mind this: a statistic is a guide, not a factual certainty. A lot of times, attorneys will use statistical models with regards to particular jurisdictions and judges and circumstances as a mechanism to give them guidance, but they don't use it as their final decision making. Ultimately, the unique facts in the case is what gives them the information they need in terms of making the determination of whether or not your case is one they think they can advance successfully, or one that may have to be pulled back because of the facts of the case.